With just 8 minutes of prayer, you will see His grace. Have you ever found yourself searching for something deeper, something that could guide you through life's challenges, bring clarity to your decisions, and fill your heart with peace? Maybe you've felt it, that quiet longing for wisdom. It's a universal desire, isn't it? We all want to understand more, to make sense of the world, to live better and fuller lives. And here's a simple truth that might surprise you. Just 8 minutes of prayer each day could open the door to the wisdom you're seeking. Not through your own strength alone, but through a connection with God who offers grace beyond what we can achieve on our own. Wisdom isn't just a nice idea. It's the foundation of everything good we see around us. Think about it. The towering skyscrapers, the technology in your pocket, the books that inspire us, even the small everyday choices that keep life moving forward. All of it comes from human wisdom. But where does that wisdom come from? Sure, we work hard, we study, we explore. We're curious creatures, always digging into the unknown. Yet there's a limit to what we can do on our own. Our minds, brilliant as they are, can only take us so far. That's where God's grace steps in. It's like a light shining into the corners we can't reach, showing us the way when we're stuck. Without that divine spark, humanity's wisdom might never have blossomed into the civilizations we know today. So if you're chasing wisdom, and who isn't, let me invite you to try something simple yet profound. Spend 8 minutes a day in prayer. It's not about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about showing up, opening your heart, and letting God meet you there. Let's dive deeper into why this matters, how it works, and what it could mean for your life. Wisdom, the gift we all crave. Picture this, a farmer in the middle of a drought, staring at cracked, dry soil. He's got knowledge, years of planting and harvesting under his belt. But this time, the rain won't come, and his know-how isn't enough. Then, one quiet morning, he prays. Not for a miracle, but for guidance. That day he remembers an old trick his grandfather once mentioned, digging shallow trenches to catch whatever dew falls at night. It works. The crops don't thrive, but they survive. That's wisdom. Practical, life-giving, and sometimes sparked by something bigger than ourselves. We all have moments like that, don't we? Times when we need more than book smarts or experience. Wisdom is different. It's deeper. It's knowing what to say to a friend who's hurting, even when words feel clumsy. It's choosing patience over anger when everything's falling apart. It's seeing the bigger picture when life gets messy. And while we can build wisdom through effort, there's a piece of it that feels like a gift, a nudge from above that helps us see what we couldn't before. Think about the people you admire most. Maybe it's a teacher who always knew how to encourage you, or a parent who navigated hard times with grace. What set them apart? Chances are it wasn't just intelligence or skill, it was wisdom. And often that wisdom comes from a place of faith, a quiet trust that there's more at work than what we can control. That's where prayer comes in. It's not a magic trick. It's a way to tap into that greater source. Why 8 minutes? Now you might be wondering, why 8 minutes? Why not 5 or 10 or an hour? 8 minutes is a sweet spot, short enough to fit into a busy day, long enough to settle your mind and really connect. It's not about clock watching, though. It's about giving yourself a moment to step away from the noise and listen. In 8 minutes, you can breathe, you can speak, you can wait, and in that small window, something beautiful can happen. Let's break it down. Imagine you wake up tomorrow, grab your coffee, and sit down for 8 minutes. The first minute, you're just settling in, your mind's still buzzing with to-do lists or last night's worries. That's okay. The next couple of minutes, you start talking to God. Maybe you thank Him for the sunrise, or ask for help with a problem that's been weighing you down. Then, for the last few minutes, you're quiet. You listen. You let your heart rest. It's not complicated, but It's powerful. 8 minutes isn't a random number. It's a starting point. If you've never prayed before, it's doable. If you're a seasoned believer, it's a fresh challenge to keep it simple. And here's the thing. God doesn't need hours to work in your life. He can meet you in a heartbeat. But giving him those 8 minutes shows you're serious about seeking him and the wisdom he offers. The limits of human strength. Let's be real. We're not superheroes. We try hard, sometimes too hard. We read self-help books, scroll through advice online, ask friends for their take. And that's all good. Effort matters. But have you ever hit a wall where no amount of trying seemed to help? Maybe it was a decision you couldn't figure out, or a season of life that left you drained. That's when you realize our strength has limits. I remember a time when I was stuck like that. I'd been wrestling with a choice. Nothing huge, just whether to take a new job or stay where I was. I made pros and cons lists, talked to people I trusted, even lost sleep over it. But I still felt lost. One morning, I gave up trying to solve it myself. I sat down, closed my eyes, and prayed for 8 minutes. I didn't hear a booming voice from G. Gether, but something shifted. I felt calm, like the fog cleared. The answer didn't drop from the sky, but I knew what I needed to do. That's the grace I'm talking about. It's not always dramatic, but it's real. Without God's light, we're like sailors without a compass. We can paddle hard, but we might end up in circles. Prayer brings the compass. It doesn't mean every problem vanishes, but it gives you a direction, a wisdom that's bigger than your own. How prayer opens the door. So how does this work? Prayer isn't a vending machine. Put in 8 minutes, get instant wisdom. It's more like planting a seed. You don't see the tree right away, but something's growing. When you pray, you're not just talking, you're aligning yourself with God. You're saying, I can't do this alone. And he responds, not always with fireworks, but with quiet gifts, patience, insight, courage. Take Solomon, the guy from the Bible. He could have asked God for riches or power, but he asked for wisdom, and God gave it to him. Big time. He didn't earn it, he sought it. That's the key. Prayer is seeking, it's knocking on the door and trusting it'll open. Sometimes it's practical stuff. You're mad at someone, and in those 8 minutes you feel the anger melt. Other times it's bigger, like understanding why a tough season happened. It's not about forcing answers, it's about letting God shape you. And the more you show up, the more you notice it. Wisdom creeping in, steady and sure. A civilization built on wisdom and gracedom. Look around. The world we live in, flawed as it is, stands on wisdom. Bridges don't collapse because engineers leaned on it. Medicines heal because scientists chased it. Even art, music, the stuff that lifts our souls, it's all rooted in that human spark. But peel back the layers and you'll see something else. Grace. People who prayed, who sought, who trusted. From ancient builders to modern dreamers, faith has woven through it all. Imagine if no one ever looked beyond themselves. No cathedrals, no breakthroughs, no stories that outlast us. Wisdom isn't just ours to claim, it's a gift we've been handed, polished by God's touch. And prayer keeps us connected to that source. 8 minutes a day isn't much, but it's enough to keep the well from running dry. Your 8-minute invitation. So here's my challenge. Try it. Tomorrow, set a timer for 8 minutes. Find a quiet spot, your couch, your car, a park bench. Start simple. Thank God for something good. Ask for help with something hard. Then just sit there. No pressure, no script. See what happens. You might feel silly at first, that's fine. Wisdom doesn't come with a drum roll, but stick with it. 8 minutes today, 8 tomorrow. Let it build. You're not chasing a prize, you're opening a door. And through that door comes grace, peace, and yes, wisdom. Because here's the truth. You're not meant to figure it all out alone. Life's too big, too wild. But you don't have to. 8 minutes of prayer can remind you, God's there, ready to light the way. And with Him, the wisdom you're seeking isn't so far off after all. After watching, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. I have many good videos to share. Learn to give, and God will give you peace.